right, let me say cheers and welcome to each and every one of you to Happy Hour with the Lincoln. I believe we're on episode number 72 now, where week by week I'll do my best to answer all of your stock market related questions in the attempts to help you become a more professional and well-rounded trader. So if you guys have questions that you need answers to, you have questions that you think the trading community would benefit from, send them over to support@thelincolnlist.com. Now, as you can tell, based on last week's Happy Hour, I'm no longer roaming the ice-cold, chilly woods of West Virginia, talking to you about opportunities and all that stuff. Nope, I'm back here in my palatial kingdom of San Diego, California. Now, palatial kingdom might be a stretch, but it's good to be back home. So let me give a cheers to sunny San Diego. Always good to be back home every so often. So what we're going to talk about today is New Year's resolutions and goals. Now, I know I want to set the tone straight here first and maybe slightly apologize. I hate about the titles. New Year's resolutions don't always suck. They can suck. But I don't want to discourage people from making change, because in my mind, even if you attempt to make change, whether it's a calendar date that makes you do that or a certain time that makes you do that, even if your chances are that you're going to fail, failing at trying to change is better than not trying to change at all, right? In my opinion. So I don't want to be too difficult on it. But what I do want to share with each and every one of you, some of the things that's worked for me in the past as far as my resolutions and goals and things, because I know some of you may say, what does this have to do with trading? Well, it does. A lot of it has to do with trading, because in the beginning of the year, you make personal and professional goals. You say, these are things I want to change in my life. These are things I want to change in my business. You just want to change for the better. So we're going to talk about that here and some of the things that you can do, or some of the things that's worked for me. I'll share it with you. Maybe it will help you. Maybe it won't, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to share. I'm here to help. So let's talk about it. One of the reasons that goals themselves don't work is because, I shouldn't say they all don't work, but one reason they're very difficult is because change itself is extremely difficult for us. Once we've developed a habits, even if they're poor habits, are very, very hard to break. Now, this is something that we've talked about in trading, that if you start out early in your career, and I'm appealing to those younger people or those newer people that are trading, you're just starting out, you're really only a year, maybe 2 years or less. This is something that I talked about in my business too, was the damages that I did and the bad habits that I built 20 years ago plagued me for half a decade and even longer, and some of them still creep up. So it's very difficult, and our bodies resist change. Now, I don't know the exact days or statistics. I've read this several times from several different studies that it takes on average of 30 days for you to change a habit. So in that first period of time, you're going to struggle with following through on these goals and commitments that you have. It's just going to be uncomfortable. So you first, in order for you to understand change and be successful at change, regardless of financial change or personal change, you have to realize it's going to be uncomfortable at first. So think about this. We've all done the Monday diet thing. And this is where the whole calendar date resolution stuff is weird to me. So you do this. You say, I'm going to go on a diet on Monday, right? We've all done this. So what you decide to do is do that last hurrah of gluttony. So Saturday you're pigging out. All day Sunday you're pigging out. All the way until it's time for you to go to bed. Your belly's all popped out. You've eaten cookies and sugar and everything that's in the refrigerator. You've pretty much polished it off. You've just overate because you feel like you're going to go off on an island like a Survivor or something. And then you're just like, you're so full. And you're like, I am going to just go crash dieting or 10-day fasting or whatever it is tomorrow. So I'm just going to get it all in there. Maybe you quit smoking. You're just like smoking 10 packs a day, whatever. And then the next day when you get up, the first thing you're extremely hungry. And the reason for that is because you're thinking about food now that you're depriving yourself of it. That's why it hurts. Remember we did I think it was a couple of months back, I did the chimp paradox thing, the battle between your chimp brain and your human brain. And this is the battle that we have. So it's amazing, and it doesn't matter which it is, whether it's finances, you're trying to be a better trader. Once you start thinking about something like that, it can consume you. So like you may never have been that hungry in the first place, but as soon as you tell yourself you're going on a diet and you deprive yourself of one meal, you feel like, oh, I'm starving to death. I can't stand this. The pain is just overbearing. And then at some point, we give into the pain because we've never really taken the right types of steps to break that habit. We've never forced our way through that change in most cases. I know we've all accomplished goals. We've all made changes in our lives. But one of the reasons why it has such a high failure rate is because it's uncomfortable. So when somebody comes into trading, this is something that we've talked about is it is kind of uncomfortable at some point. In order for you to make that transition from amateur into professional, you're going to have to be a little bit uncomfortable. Like you're going to have to go through some drawdowns if you want to make the big money. And for a new trader, for somebody that's new to trading in general, it's going to be a little bit tough. It's going to be a little bit tough to look at that. It's going to be a little bit tough holding in the pocket on some of your certain trades. If you remember, we've always talked about idea, execution, and management. And what really holds a professional trader back, or not a professional trader, but an aspiring trader, is management. And management all just comes down to habits, belief, and being uncomfortable in certain situations, sticking to your guns, and then ultimately having it pay off. I mean, that's what it's all about. And it's those habits that we build early that are really hard to break. Now, I've talked about this before too, is that many years ago, 20 to be exact, the bad things that I did early on in my trading career really hurt me for about half of a decade. They extended my learning curve by half a decade. So I kind of appeal to all of you that are aspiring traders, 2 years or less, that this is the most valuable, important time for you to make the right kind of changes in your life. Because if you don't, those habits will haunt you forever. It's like a dirty old skeleton in your closet. And I would give anything to go back and change the way it was, because those extra 5 years that added my learning curve before I became professional was a nightmare. And I've talked about it before. I've never hit it. So, it's not good. Now, the question becomes, what do you want to share with us, Mr. Douglas? What will you share with us? That will how do you do it? How do you do it? Now, I've used this thing. It's called the 5 by 5 by 5 rule. Okay. And it'll work for anything. Okay. It's not 100% guarantee. I mean, you ultimately have to be the one to push through. But I think you might find this helpful with any resolution that you have. We'll talk about how it works in trading, because even if it's not a resolution, it will definitely help you become a better trader. And that is, so I'm just going to use trading since that's what we're talking about. Just take the same kind of formula and apply it to anything. And that is, write 5 of your strengths down. So if you're a trader, I want you to write 5 of your strengths down, your top strengths, how your recognition of patterns, your understanding of market nuances and how the market works, your ability to find hot stocks and scan stuff and find things, your ability to generate great quality ideas, whatever they may be. I want you to write down 5 of your most powerful strengths that you have. Then what I want you to do is I want you to write 5 of your weaknesses down. Maybe you hold stocks too long when you know you're not going to make any money on them, and you have your ego getting away and it makes you lose money. Maybe you have a really good idea, but you just can't execute the idea when you first see it. Whatever those weaknesses are, write them down. So you've got 5 good things that you do, 5 solid trading strengths, and then match those up against 5 solid weaknesses. Okay. Then what I want you to do is, for the last 5, I want you to write down 5 people or 5 things that will help you take care of the 5 weaknesses. All right. So you already have your strengths. You know how to play to your strengths. Go to your weaknesses and find 5 people, or associate yourself with the people and the things that you need to take those 5 and reduce them. Now, when I look at a goal like that and I say these 5 weaknesses, I don't necessarily look at something and say, I am going to rid myself completely of this problem. I just want to control the problem. So for example, one of my past problems is chocolate, because I'll eat that shit until I throw up. I have no control when it comes to chocolate. I don't care what it is. I'll eat it. If you could throw it up on the street, I'll probably scoop it back up and think, I love chocolate. It's disgusting, but I love chocolate, right? I cannot turn it down. So my intent when I was many years ago to control my sugar intake was never to stop eating chocolate. It was just like, how about once a week or twice a week? So I would start out with 2 times a week, take it down to 1 time a week, maybe 1 time every 2 weeks, little small steps. And this is another reason why goals fail for people. Hold on. I'm going to come right back. Let me fix that. Okay. That's better. Sorry, my light went out. It does that all the time. Maybe I should charge my batteries. That's going to be my 5 by 5 by 5 New Year's resolution, to always have fully charged camera batteries. So how about cheers? Cheers to new lightning. So let me see. Where was I? Okay. I think I was saying that's why goals don't work. Because number one, we have those large expectations that we put on ourselves. So maybe you're a trader out there and you say, look, I really want to make a lot of money this month. So I'm going to make 10 grand. I want to make 10 grand this month. Now, maybe you've never made any more than $300 in any given trading month. So asking yourself for 10 grand that's the wrong type of goals. Changes come in little small increments, and doing those things by focusing on what is the most important and what is not the most important. Where's the first area that I have to focus on? Now, I kind of talked about this before. I think it was in a whiteboard, is that still to this day, I don't try to set goals for myself and stuff like that. I try to work on one thing every week. So I'm now at the point where I look at something and I'll slip back into a bad habit. Like I'll go on a really good streak for a while and then I'll slip back into a bad habit. And I'll say, look, my entries kind of suck lately. That's going to be my goal next week. I'm not trying to put money on it. Let me just try to trade better. Let me just focus on my trades, because I know if I focus on my trades, my money will be there. But let me just focus on my entries. Sometimes my exits are not that good. Let me focus on my exits. Let me try to work on one of those things at a time. So you pick your 5 strengths and you know where those are. You stick with those strengths and you make those better. They will get better in time with refinement. It's these 5 weaknesses that you have. And they're not that bad of weaknesses, but they will be very uncomfortable for you to change at first, regardless if it's a personal issue or it's a professional issue. So maybe if you're the trader out there that's struggling with, following along with your beliefs, getting stopped out and have trades work out for you later on, giving up money, not holding on to winners long enough, okay? Rather than try to conquer all 5 of those as well, just try to pick one. So let's start with one. So after you have your 5 good, 5 bad, and the 5 things or people that can help you, get to one of those and make a commitment Monday. Say, this is number 1 that I want to fix, and I need to fix it. And remember, don't expect that it's going to be fixed by Tuesday or Wednesday. Just say, I am going to start taking the necessary steps to hold my trades a little bit longer based on my analysis. Now, of course, you'll feel uncomfortable because the first time you make a gain, you're going to have that tendency to want to take your money. But you're like, look, no, X amount of percentage of time, if I would hold, I would be better. I need to hang in there. I know it's going to be uncomfortable. Get up and walk away. I once talked about the timer that I use. I used to have a problem of premature evacuation when it came to stock trades, giving up a lot of money on trades, which pissed me off because it pisses you off too, right? Because you do all the work, you find the stock, you execute it to perfection, then you get shaken out of it, and then you left $1,000 on the table or $2,000 on the table, whatever it might have been. You're like, man, I did all that work. I didn't get to drink the wine. So I would automatically set a timer and said, I won't touch this trade for 10 minutes. If I had to leave the house, it was uncomfortable. Trust me, it was uncomfortable. And sometimes I still get uncomfortable when I got a lot of positions on that aren't really working or the day isn't going the way I want. And I'll take a walk. Whatever I got to do to get myself away from the computer, to kind of rethink, know thyself, right? Kind of rethink those things and come back and just try to force your way through it. So here's what I'm saying. First of all, 5 strengths, 5 weaknesses. Then align yourself with the people that can help you conquer that weakness. Someone, if you need a mentor with your trading, you need help with your trading, you need someone to help you stay in trades longer. Find the people that can move you through those things and do one at a time, 1 per week, and within a month or so, once you've battled through this uncomfortable, you just understand, tell yourself in your mind, you are going to be uncomfortable with this change. It's going to be bothersome. You're going to get some stomach cramps over it, probably a little bit nerves. You're going to get anxiety. You're going to get that itchy feeling. But you have to remember that if you want to be successful at anything, you've got to step outside the box and you got to be uncomfortable. And go all the way back. I keep using the word uncomfortable. Go all the way back. Read a bunch of stories about billionaires. Self-made billionaires. How many of them were face planted in the dirt, seconds away from disaster, living so many years uncomfortable, struggling for so many years, actors and actresses struggling for so many years? You're going to have to power yourself through that discomfort, learn to live with that, stop putting things like you're owed something or self-entitlement. 5 good, 5 bad. Align yourself with the people and work. So I want to thank you very much for watching this happy hour. Take care. Cheers. Until next week. See you then.